show here, and it just continues. We welcome Maddisyn Challe to Brant Life. Maddisyn, great to have you here on local TV. As you sort of ducked out of school to play local TV. I'll write you a note if it's necessary.
Thank you.
Maddisyn is a grade 11 student at Assumption, and is not just an aspiring musician, but is a actual current musician as a grade 11 student. Maddisyn, how did you get interested in music? Tell me about what sparked you and said, yeah, this is what I want to do.
I've always loved singing, and I've been wanting to do singing lessons for as long as I can remember because I just have a huge passion for music, and I always have, and it's been something I've always wanted to do, but I was always too nervous to sing for people. So I was always telling my mom, like, I want to do singing lessons, and she was like, yeah, okay. And so one day I actually sang for her and my older brother, and she was like, oh wait, you actually are kind of good. She's like,
the moment where a parent goes, oh my goodness, I can now transition from just encouraging to actually.
Yeah, so I began singing lessons in Brantford, and I was there for about 2 years, and I've since moved to Toronto to further that and also begin songwriting and releasing some of my own music, which has been just an amazing experience.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so prepping for the show, last night Patti sent me a link to your song My Goodbye, and immediately I see the song and I'm like, oh, she's at the Mohawk Chapel, and clearly this was shot all in and around the Mohawk Chapel. Tell me about shooting that video. Is that the first video that you've done?
So my first original song, I did a video, but it was in the studio. So that was my first actual music video, and I was really excited to shoot it in my hometown. Like, I was like, he came from Toronto to Brantford to film it here, which is really exciting. We went to the Mohawk Chapel, we went to the Lauren Bridge, and we went to Apps Mill, and it was so much fun to shoot. My best friend was the other girl in the video, and her mom was also at the end of the video, and my mom and my other best friend were there to support and everything, which was just so much fun to share this experience with them. And I absolutely loved doing that video because I've always loved acting as well, so getting to do that and share that with people and having my best friend there to help me tell the story of the song was just so amazing.
I was going to ask you who the other girl in the background was, because it's a neat video where you're singing up by the fence and that sort of thing, and the character story is being played out in behind you. And while it's neat on video, when you're actually shooting something like that, it can be a little bit awkward because you're standing there in the middle of a field singing as people are playing out in behind. But it was a wonderful song, and a really wonderful story and message as well. And I know that mental health is something that's very near and dear to you. Talk a little bit about this song, My Goodbye.
So My Goodbye is, I'm telling the story of a girl who lost her battle to mental health. I wanted to write My Goodbye to bring awareness to bullying, mental health, suicide awareness, depression, and I really wanted to touch people and connect with people in the same way that it connects with me. And mental health has always been extremely important to me. I'm an executive member of our Jack.org chapter at Assumption College, raising awareness for mental health, because I think it's such a huge issue in today's world. And I think it's really important to break the stigma around that as well. Like, it's something that we all struggle with, and the response to it has been absolutely amazing. Like, I've had people messaging me from seriously all around the world telling me that it was able to resonate in their lives in some way, and that was my goal from the beginning. So like, that meant the absolute world to me, knowing that that was actually touching people and just connecting with them, and that was the main goal. So that was amazing.
Certainly this last year, all of us have battled our mental health with the pandemic, and for students like you, switching between online learning and being in class. As a student in school in Brantford, what's it been like for you this past year, and how have you balanced all that with your goals in music?
Yeah, it's definitely been a different and very difficult year, having being online and then in school, and I would much rather be in school. I love that social connection, getting to see my friends, getting to see my teachers and all that. And so the online stuff has been very difficult for me, and I think it's been very difficult for a lot of people, especially that uncertainty of knowing if we're going back, if we're staying online, like what's happening. So that's been one of the hardest parts. But with that being said, it's also been a great opportunity for me to focus more on my music and stuff, having that extra time aside, not being in school for 6 hours, only being on a call for 1 to 2 hours. So that's been really nice. But yeah, it's been really nice. But my school's also been super supportive of all my music. Assumption's amazing, and the teachers there are just fantastic. They've been sharing my song on Twitter. They had My Goodbye playing on the PA system as people drove up to the school one day, and they're such a supportive school community, and I'm like so grateful for that.
I remember when it was playing. Sorry, I remember when it was playing on the PA, and what did that feel like? I mean, you pulled up at school and you heard your voice and your original song.
It was crazy. I was shocked. I did not expect that at all. And I had people messaging me, "Are you here yet?" So I'm pulling up and my song's playing, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, it was crazy.
Well, that's neat. You have another couple minutes, Maddisyn. Talk about your musical style. What are your influences, and what's the kind of music that really resonates with you and you're invested in making these days?
Yeah, so my main style would be pop and country, because I absolutely love country music and pop music. So gotta get the best of both worlds in there.
Taylor,
yeah, I love this.
Yeah, okay.
Me too. And my first song, She's Alright, really kind of reminded me of like a Taylor Swift type vibe, because Taylor Swift's always like, screw the exes, right? So that's that kind of also helped inspire me for She's Alright. And I have a lot of musical people who influence me. Shawn Mendes and Justin Bieber, obviously, for my pop side of things, but Carrie Underwood, Miranda Lambert, and all of them really inspire my country side and interest in that. Taylor Swift, Kelsey Ballerini, Jess Moskowitz, all of them. I love their music so much, and I think they're so amazing.
Oh, very, very neat. Just got about another minute or so. Tell people how they can find you on, I imagine, social media sites and find your song and that sort of thing. How do people find out more about you?
So I have my YouTube channel where I post all my music videos and stuff, and that is Maddie Music. And I'm also on Instagram as MaddieMusic05, where I post a lot. And I'm on Facebook as Maddie Music as well, and Twitter is Maddisyn_22.
You're everywhere. That's great. And people can find your music on Spotify as well, right? I know that it's up on there too.
Apple Music, YouTube, and I think there's like 50 other streaming platforms. So pretty much anywhere.
Wherever you find music, you can find you. That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, that's great. I really appreciate you coming and sharing your story. And Brantford's very proud of you. You should be very proud of yourself. You put a lot of, even just watching the video yesterday, it was really well done. You put a lot of hard work into it, and you should be very proud of yourself. You've done a wonderful job.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. And that's the end of today's show. Thanks so much for everybody for joining us, and thank you for joining us as well. We're going to be back next week with more interesting people and more great stories right here on Brant Life. Bye!
Bye!